Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. Today, I have something a little bit different for you. I'm going to kind of rank what my favorite top five Scandi knives are. Um, Scandi is a great, great grind, very easy to sharpen. I think a full flat grind might be the only one that's easier. It's very easy to maintain. It is a good knife for bushcraft and a lot of other things, which I'll get into. Why I like these particular ones, but also like which ones are my favorite. First, I'm going to ask for you to quickly smash that like button, leave a comment. It really helps the channel. And as always, thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Um, so these aren't all American made either. Some of them are European made. I don't think I have any China ones. Well, yeah, no, I don't think I have any China ones. Um, so that's cool, I guess. That's really interesting when I think about it. I think about like Chinese made Scandi grinds. I can't really name one that I would recommend out there. I don't know if that says anything. The Forest is one of my favorite knives ever, and it's a very unique type Scandi grind. Now, usually I would say that a Scandi grind really should be made for chopping wood, doing things around the camp, and blah blah blah. But in this case, it's made as a bushcraft knife, but not a full tang. I mean, it is a full tang. It's inside the handle here. It's buried inside of here. But this is really for fine carpentry and woodcraft. And the way that it has a little bit of belly here, it's also a combination Scandi with the convex grind, works extraordinarily well. Like, I can do very fine carpentry with this. I wouldn't baton necessarily with this, but it would be fine doing that. This is much more of a knife for a craftsman who likes making things out of wood and doesn't mind getting rough and tumble and making a little bench or something like that. And that's the way that I use this knife. I use this knife when I'm out and about and I'm doing that stuff. But obviously, this is Bark River Knives made in America, and this is the Magna Cut version, which I think for this application is actually great because it's going to give you some protection against the elements. And it's fairly, I find Magna Cut fairly easy to sharpen and maintain. Um, I wish this had a sharpening choil, but other than that, this is definitely going to be in my top five. So we'll put that aside for one of the top five. This is the Boker collaboration with Dutch Bushcraft Knives. I think that this is a great knife. I haven't used it enough to really be able to put it in my top five yet. But from what I've seen of it, it's got a nice little sharpening choil. This is 80 CRV2, which is a great choice for budget type steel. Costs about 100 and I'm forgetting now, $120, $150. But then the shipping was like an additional $50 or something like that. Although I've heard that Knife Center and some other people are going to be having them come in soon. Yeah, so now I have batoned with this, and I have noticed that I've already, with batoning and stuff, I've already gotten a little bit of a fold on this edge and on the tip here. I don't know, that shouldn't happen with ADCB. So I don't know if that's a heat treat or not. When I think of Boker, I think of good heat treats and I think of like quality stuff. So I'm a little confused by that. Maybe it's the angle at which they sharpen this. I don't have an angle reader. This, I would assume that this is a 20-degree Scandi, but maybe I'm wrong. LT Wright says that they do theirs at 20 degrees. So if I compare these two, it's really hard to tell. I would be just guessing. A little bit thin in the hand for me. It's not going to be in my top five because I haven't used it enough, but I think it's a cool Scandi and I'm glad I got it. The Halta 4. I use this knife a lot. $16. One of the two cheapest knives on this table. Goes duller faster than the Morakniv. Companion. This isn't the companion. This is it's not the robust either. It's the $16 one. Help me out, guys. So I'm gonna say this isn't in my top five. It is a good knife, but it's not in my top five. So I'm gonna put that over here, just at the edge of the screen. This is still in the top five. The Euro Bushcrafter, again, another Bark River Scandi combination. Great handle. I like it a lot. Am I going to include it in my top five? It has this niche here, this notch here, which is supposed to be for, I believe, it's for scraping steel, fire steels, but it doesn't necessarily work that way. I ended up just using the flat side of my knife to do that when I was starting to fire with it. Fairly straight, so this is definitely like good for chopping. I've done a lot of batoning with this. A little bit of a drop point down here. Very sharp. And is this Magna Cut? This is Magna Cut. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna put that right there. This is a definite. This is definitely in there. A2, very easy to maintain, keep sharp, keeps an edge forever. This is the Genesis. I've never sharpened this except for stropping it, and it is still good to go. I have really become a big fan of this A2, and this handle is amazing. The scallops here for doing fine work is amazing. It looks like it wouldn't be a great bushcraft knife, but it almost defines the genre for me. The Genesis from LT Wright, absolute banger of a knife. I can't recommend it more. Definitely in the top five. Morakniv, I'm definitely going to recommend this. $16, high carbon steel, doesn't rust, stays sharp forever. I use it a lot for batoning, feather sticking, and stuff. This is right next to my fireplace. Probably the knife that I use the most, honestly. And the texture on this handle is actually really good. It's nice and grippy. It locks in there. Nice Coke bottle handle. You can't argue with 16 bucks. So I'm gonna definitely have that in my top five. And then next we have the Terra. Oh God, I always mess up the name of this one. Terra Nova Jarapuco. This is the long guy. I specifically got the long guy. It was 60 euros. Fairly darn cheap for what it is. I had to buy the sheath separately. Fairly nice sheath too. I didn't need to buy the sheath, but I did. Again, this spends a lot of time with me next to the fire pit because I got the 140 millimeter version of this. It makes batoning really nice. Like I can do nice thick pieces with this. Handle isn't quite as comfortable as I would like. In a way, I kind of wish the Morakniv handle was on this, but it's not. They've also, put some treatment here on the blade here to because it's carbon steel. I believe it's just carbon. It might be ADCR. Actually, you know what? I think that this is ADCR V2 as well. I'm not sure about the angle either, but yeah. Is this in a top five? This is a maybe. I'm ranking them over here. So this is the bottom of my ranking. Next, the ultralight bushcrafter. Oof. Yeah, definitely in the top five. This is the smallest Scandi grind I have. And it's one of those, it's one of Bark River's combination ones too. I really, really like this knife. It's small. It actually cuts rope really well. It stays sharp very easily. It disappears in the pocket. I just actually bought a new in-pocket carry option for this too. So I'm really stoked about not having this as a belt carry, but as an in-pocket carry. As an in-pocket carry, it'll be a large in-pocket carry. As a belt carry, it's very small, but great Coke handle shape to it. It's got a little bit of recurve on here as well. And I find this knife to be really practical and useful. And before I got the Forest, it was my favorite for doing carpentry. Also does a lot of really good carpentry, smaller bushcraft tasks, making tenons, that kind of thing. Like, does it really well. The robust $80 Morakniv version, and this is the stainless version. I'm not sure why I got the stainless version instead of the carbon version, but it has a full tang. Very nice knife. Yeah, it's a nice knife, and the problem with this is that it costs $80, and for $80, I can get other things. I can get like the Terra Nova, Jarapuco, and other things. So for the price and everything, this is a great knife. If I don't think that it's in my top five though, but it is an awesome knife. And then finally, we've got the XL Workhorse. I'm not going to put it in my top five. 01 or 02, I always forget which one it is. Tool steel, very good tool steel. It kind of seems I've used this for building for batoning, but it's not quite good at that because it has too much belly for that. It's a little bit too large to do the small kind of carpentry stuff, and it's not flat enough and long enough along the flat part to really baton well. So for me, it's not that great of a knife. I could see this being a great farm knife though, like where you're opening up bales. all the time, and plastic and a bunch of other stuff. I could see this being a great knife for someone who isn't me. Not in my top five. So right now, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I comfortable with these being my top five? Um, I think so. So then we're going to take the Robust, the Hultifor, the Bush Friend from DBK, and the Terra Nova Jarapuco, and the XL Workhorse, and take them out of the running. And now we're down to these five. So who in these five are my favorite? Um, I absolutely love the amount of value you get for this knife. This is an amazing knife, and honestly, you don't really need much more than this six. I think everyone should have one of these in their truck, in their glove box, or in their car. And I have one in my tool bag in there just because you never know when you need a fixed blade. Uh, so I'm gonna put that in at number 3. So I'm putting that right in the middle. I think the fifth favorite one, I'm going to go ahead and say it's the Euro Bushcrafter. It's really growing on me. Yeah, I'm just thinking. So I'm going to put this as number 5. So 5 is going to be over here. And then next, I think that I'm going to say that number 2 is going to be the Genesis. This guy just rocks all day long. Like, camping with this is a dream. Absolutely love it. And then that leaves me with these two guys. I think I'm going to scoot all these down. I think these two smallest are going to be my 2 favorite. And I'm going to say that the Ultralight Bushcrafter is my favorite. Why? Because I like doing carpentry a lot. And I like doing rope work, and I like working on boats, and I like doing things like that. And I find that these 2 knives are the knives that I reach for the most whenever I'm traveling. If I'm on a boat or if I'm building something, these are the 2 knives that I'm carrying with me day in and day out. They can't make a fire necessarily, although they will, but they're really screaming accurate, and I really appreciate what they do for me. Also, this ultralight, I didn't mention this, but this is S45VN, which stays sharp forever. This almost acts like a plane, like when you have a plane for taking shavings off of wood. This almost acts like a plane blade, but without the block. And I just find it really useful. Same with this too. This amount of curve on a Scandi is something that isn't necessarily usual. I think it's abnormal, but it works really well for carpentry and bushcraft stuff. And I really enjoy that aspect more than using the Scandi to baton all the time. So I think this is what we have. We have the Ultralight Bushcrafter and S45VN from Bark River Knives. And then we have the Bark River, and then we have the, I'm going to change things up. God damn it. Changing it. And then we have the LT Wright Genesis. Why did I just move that? Because I really do like this knife. I really do. Like, I think that this sets a standard, gold standard in Scandi. And I really like it. American made. Then we have the Forester from Bark River Knives. And then we have from, I believe, Sweden, the Morakniv. Sweden, right? Yeah, Sweden, made in Sweden. Morakniv, $16. Can't beat it with a stick. Go out today. Get one if you don't have one. There'll be a link down below as well for that. And then we have finally the Bushcrafter. I'm sorry, the European Bushcrafter from Bark River Knives. I really do like this handle. This Coke bottle handle is just the right amount of thickness. I think that's something else. Like, when you're looking for a Scandi that can be used for a lot of different things, but having a nice big thick handle is a handle that's really ergonomic is gonna make or break your Scandi. And you'll notice that all 5 of these here have nice big handles, except for this ultralight, but it still has a really nice shape to it. And because it's smaller, it's for smaller tasks anyway. But like, this Forest has an oversized handle compared to the amount of steel that's up in front of it. Whereas the knives that I have a little bit of trouble with, or that, one of the, like this knife here, the Jarapuco, great knife. Wish it was just a little bit thicker in the handle, but it's good. It's good. It's just not quite comfortable. And again, I think that the Bush Friend is not quite comfortable, but it feels, the ergos are good. Just wish it was just a slight bit thicker. Maybe just add a liner in here. That would be great. Great handle on this. Actually might be too thick for the XL Workhorse. But, yeah. So that's what I have for you today, guys. Are there any Scandies that I don't have on here that you really think I should check out? Because I would really be curious to know what you think. Oh, you know what? I am forgetting a knife. I did not show you, he says. He remembers. I also have a, oh, well, I'm not going to pull it out now. It's too late. There we go. That's my top 5 Scandi knives. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate your time and attention. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, helps the channel. If you want to get a chance to win a knife of the month and help support make this content, $3 a month. All you got to do is follow the link down below for Patreon. You too could be a Patreon supporter. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.